It's the 1880s, and Europe is destabilizing rapidly. Smaller states like Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Montenegro, and Greece are waiting to see how things turn out, while Germany often looks down on Austro-Hungary and tries to prevent it from going to war with Russia over territories in the Balkans. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was basically a collection of Habsburg properties that often despised each other. The dual monarchy was slow and inefficient, to the point that Germans called this empire the corpse on the Danube. With nationalist movements on the rise, Austro-Hungary considered creating a southern Slav bloc to satisfy their nationalist demands, but decided against it. As the Emperor Franz Joseph was very old, the only hope was that the next emperor would be better. So, who is in line for succession? Well, this guy was executed after trying to become Emperor of Mexico. This guy committed This guy died from typhoid after drinking water from the River Jordan in the Holy Land. This one was involved in too many scandals, which left only Franz Ferdinand, who was a massive anti-Semite, hated Hungarians whom he called traitors, and Serbs whom he called pigs. But there was one objectively good thing about him. Whenever warhawks like this guy wanted to annex Serbia, Franz Ferdinand made his best efforts to prevent it, fearing it would trigger a massive war in Europe that could spread through the world. Smart thinking. Hopefully no one kills him and triggers a massive war in Europe that will spread through the world. The French government was thrown into chaos in 1894 when rampant anti-Semitism led to a Jewish army officer, Alfred Dreyfus, being wrongfully convicted of treason. The army then protected the identity of the actual traitor, leading to a massive scandal. Dreyfus was eventually exonerated, but not before the scandal divided the nation, strengthened the Zionist movement, and severely affected France's reputation abroad. The French army was exposed as corrupt and outdated, and with its reputation at an all-time low, few people were enlisting. Foreign Minister Théophile Delcassé wanted to revive France's empire by getting colonies either in the Mediterranean or from the Ottoman Empire. He focused on improving relations with the British and struck a deal with Italy, where Italy recognized France's claims over Morocco and France recognized Italy's claims over Libya. As relations with Britain improved, France let go of their claim to Egypt and Britain recognized their rule over Morocco. In 1904, France and Britain signed a treaty and kind of became friends. Germany had been busy trying to isolate France and did not see this coming. In 1905, the German Kaiser went to Morocco and made a speech supporting Moroccan independence and announcing Germany's intention to conduct business in the country. Things got so tense with the French that it almost led to war. But they settled the tensions during the Algeciras Convention in 1906, where Germany expected lots of international support, but ended up getting none, making it realize it had no real friends. Except for Austria-Hungary, but they don't count. I'm tired of everyone thinking I'm weak. I'll show you just how relevant I am. I'm gonna get more territories in the Balkans, you will see. Yeah, I'm gonna get some new territories too. I already got some from China, which was super easy, barely an inconvenience. Japan, you are next. On second thought, I'll just grab some stuff around here too. Austria-Hungary wanted to make friends with Romania in case of war against Russia. So they made a secret alliance, which was undermined by the constant suppression of Romanians by Hungary in its territories. Russia and Bulgaria became buddies when Russia helped Bulgaria free itself from the Ottomans. But now the Bulgarians wanted to expand, making the Russians see them as an ungrateful and destabilizing force. Relations between Serbia and Austria-Hungary were good at first, so much so that the Serbian king even suggested that Austria-Hungary should annex them in return for a nice pension for him. But the dual monarchy rejected the offer in fear of Russia's reaction. The Serbian king soon abdicated, and his successor got a severe case of being assassinated by nationalists, leaving the radical Nikola Pasic in power, who distanced Serbia from the empire. The Austro-Hungarians tried to bring the Serbs to heel by banning Serbian pork exports and blocking their access to online streaming services. But thankfully, they had private internet access, today's sponsor. Private internet access is a VPN that encrypts your connection and hides your IP, keeping you safe from hackers, snoopers, and even your internet provider. Plus, with PIA VPN, you can unlock content from anywhere in the world. This literally makes your subscriptions worth more. If I try to watch The Fall of the Habsburgs on Prime from Chile, I can't because it's geo-restricted. But if I connect to PIA VPN, bam, there it is. Just connect to one of the many servers around the world and watch shows and movies you have never even heard of before. It works on every operating system for your PC and smartphone, and what made me use this VPN is that you can use it on unlimited devices with just one subscription. Yes, you heard that right. If you use my link in the description, you'll be getting all of these features for 83% off, which is just $2 a month. With their current economy, that's the equivalent of like 4 eggs. And you'll also be getting 4 extra months for free. And if you don't like it, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is literally nothing to lose by trying it out and supporting my channel. Anyways, Austro-Hungary's ban on Serbian pork was incredibly successful in strengthening Serbia's economy by forcing them to trade with Russia and France instead. Good job, Austro-Hungary, you really proved the haters wrong. The Serbs were now getting emboldened. A Yugoslav movement began to emerge, dreaming of a greater Serbia and causing considerable concern to the Habsburg authorities. That is preposterous! The very idea of a greater Serbia would be an existential threat to us. Well, there can be no greater Serbia if there is no Serbia. Are you crazy? We can't just do... Hold up, let him cook. Well, it looks like Serbia and Bulgaria will fight over Macedonia. So we could just let them kill each other and take over whatever remains. We'll then influence Albania, and if Bulgaria ends up in debt after the war, maybe we can control it too. The Austro-Hungarians then tried to build a railway southward through the Sanjak of Novi Pazar that would connect with the Ottoman Railway. But since building railways was a common way of gaining influence over another country, Serbians did not like this one bit. Neither did the Russians, who wanted to build their own railway. The Young Turks then mutinied in the Ottoman Empire, plunging it into chaos. Did you just annex Bosnia-Herzegovina while we were focusing on the Ottomans? No? Then why is Bosnia-Herzegovina suddenly painted with your colors? It's always been a part of Austro-Hungary. Ever heard of the Berlin Conference, you dummy? No, the Berlin Conference only gave you administrative powers. That territory is not yours to take. Well, I'm sorry you got the memory of a goldfish. Hey, don't gaslight the kid. Don't tell the old man what to do. Oh, you want a piece of me, Germany? I literally do, yes. One moment, please. Hey, Franz, you got my back? Actually, on second thought, I think I did see Austro-Hungary controlling Bosnia-Herzegovina for a while. What? Sorry, buddy, you're gonna have to let it go this time. Yeah, let it go, little bro. Haha, yeah, little bro. Shut up! Okay. Germany and France had signed a deal after the crisis in Morocco, agreeing that they would have equal rights to exploit Morocco economically. But in 1911, Sultan Abdelhafid of Morocco deposed his brother Abdelaziz, and the French quickly tied him up with loans and agreements, built railways in the country, and made Abdelhafid sign away his rights as an independent ruler and placed him under French protection. Then French troops occupied the capital under pretext of unrest. This was a slap in the face for Germany, which felt it couldn't back down, or its standing as a power would come into question. So it sent a warship demanding territorial compensation and threatening war. If you declare war on France, you will be declaring war on me, and maybe Russia. I don't know about those guys, they're weird. Well, if they join, then they'll also be fighting... God damn it! Fine, take Morocco, but I'm taking a piece of French Congo. With the Ottoman Empire weakened after the Young Turks' revolution, Balkan nationalist movements were stronger than ever. Russia, France and Britain welcomed the idea of strong Balkan states, as they could contain German and Austro-Hungarian growth in the region once the Ottoman Empire collapsed. Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria and Montenegro formed the Balkan League and attacked the unprepared Ottomans. Wait! Put all my money into whatever makes me rich if the Balkan states go to war in 5 minutes. Okay. The Balkan League defeated the outnumbered Ottomans over and over again and took most of their European territory. Russia assured Serbia that they and Britain would help if Germany or Austria-Hungary attacked them. Serbia wanted to take some of Albania, but was blocked by Austria-Hungary, which feared Serbia was becoming too powerful. It had also made a secret deal, giving Bulgaria most of Macedonia, but now refused to give it up. So Bulgaria launched a surprise attack on Serbian and Greek forces in Macedonia, but was pushed back. Seeing Bulgaria struggling, Romania joined in from the north and took southern Dobruja. The Ottoman Empire also took advantage of the situation and attacked Bulgaria to retake eastern Thrace. With tensions running so high, every country knew that war was coming. In Germany, Major General August Keim founded the Wehrverein, which aggressively supported every single military bill. This organization grew to 300,000 members in a year and received funding from big industrialists like Alfred Krupp. The naval race continued to accelerate as the Germans and British built the incredibly massive and expensive Dreadnought-class warships. Socialist movements were gaining traction and were starting to cause problems. In Britain, the number of workers on strike rose from 138,000 in 1899 to 1.2 million in 1912. During the first months of 1914, Britain saw at least 1,000 strikes, as revolutionary ideas spread among the working class. Many socialists and communists began to organize internationally to oppose the coming war and met in Stuttgart in 1907. Attendees of the International Socialist Congress include Rudolf Hilferding, Rosa Luxemburg, Vladimir Lenin, and Leon Trotsky. In Germany, the Social Democratic Party (SPD) had become the largest party in the Reichstag, with almost a third of the seats and popular votes, while 3 million workers were part of unions by 1914. The government implemented anti-socialist propaganda and attempted to stop soldiers from attending socialist meetings in their spare time. Military officers were encouraged to give lectures critical of socialism, while conservatives and nationalists published If I Were Kaiser, arguing in favor of a good victorious war that would give the Kaiser an excuse to get rid of universal suffrage, socialists, and unify the nation. This was supported by many senior officers in the entourage of the Kaiser. In France, socialists and syndicalists opposed the extension of military service from 2 to 3 years in 1913. The socialists wanted to reform the army and substitute a conscripted standing army for a citizens' militia, so that military action would be subject to popular control and a war of aggression would be impossible. But these attempts failed. Italy frequently used its army to suppress strikes and demonstrations. And in Russia, Tsar Nicholas II was increasingly under the influence of reactionaries in the court and did his best to stall Russia's move toward a constitutional government. The Duma itself was heavily polarized, as the right wing spoke of a coup to return to absolutist rule, and the left spoke of revolution. War was increasingly seen as a way out of Russia's stagnation and to bring Russian society together. In Hungary, Social Democrats were demanding universal suffrage, and in the spring of 1912, there were massive worker demonstrations in Budapest that led to battles with government forces. The increased democracy also meant that public opinion was becoming increasingly important and putting unprecedented pressure on Europe's leaders, even limiting their freedom of action. Mass communications and greatly increased literacy meant that the public was now better informed and better connected to each other. So, governments quickly realized that the only way to carry out their agendas would be by influencing public opinion through the control of newspapers. With rising nationalism, also came a rise in racism in the form of social Darwinism. Each country did bogus scientific studies in which they measured things like skulls or penises to determine which race was superior to the others. And surprise, surprise, each country always found its majority population to be racially superior to all others. The mood for war was set. Germany feared encirclement by the growing Russian Empire and the revitalization of France. Its allies were unreliable, and Britain still refused to concede in the naval race. And socialists at home were becoming increasingly powerful. German generals hurried bills through the Reichstag to enlarge the army, warning of a coming world war. They made plans hoping that Romania, Bulgaria and the Ottoman Empire would join them. General Moltke said that the war was inevitable, and in 1912 called for the press to be used to get the public into the right frame of mind. Europeans at this point still believed that war would be short and glorious, like it used to be. In 1914, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire decided to go to Sarajevo to oversee military exercises and widely publicize the visit. Honey, are you sure this is a good idea? I mean, we just annexed this territory 6 years ago. Overseeing military exercises will certainly enrage them. And we have been hearing reports for years about plots from southern Slav nationalists to kill high-ranking officials and even the emperor. I know, honey, this thing isn't especially secret, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few Serbian bullets waiting for me. Franz, what the f? A group of Slav nationalists, called the Young Bosnians, were given 6 bombs and 4 revolvers from the Serbian army's arsenal thanks to a secret military society called the Black Hand. Gavrilo Princip and 2 co-conspirators were smuggled across the border from Serbia to Bosnia by the Black Hand with the objective of killing the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And they were so determined that they had already given away their possessions and carried cyanide pills to bite on after the deed was done. In Sarajevo, they linked up with another 3 conspirators. In charge of the security of the event was the governor of Bosnia, General Potiorek. We are aware of very serious death threats against the heir. Should we deploy the army to guard the streets? Absolutely not! I want France to see the great job I've made of pacifying Bosnia. And to ensure that he will promote me, I will receive Sophie with full imperial honors, which she has been denied elsewhere for not having enough royal blood. The visit coincides with an important national holiday. People will feel provoked. I really think we should have at least a few guards running around. What wine do you think they like? Actually, don't worry, I'll just buy every kind. Also, I've selected the music. What do you think?
Shot to the heart!
No.
There's a killer on the road.
No.
Many men wish death upon me.
No. No. I quit. On Sunday, June 28, Franz and Sophie drove in an open-top car around Sarajevo. 2 of the conspirators froze and failed to act, but a 3rd conspirator threw a bomb at their car that bounced off the roof and hit the car behind them. The failed assassin bit his cyanide pill, but the old cyanide pill only made him puke. So he jumped into the river. But the river was only 13 centimeters deep at that time of the year, so he survived and was arrested. We narrowly escaped death. Can we now please go into hiding or at least get more security? Nonsense! The conspirators failed. They must be running in fear. Let's proceed as planned. After a speech by the mayor, Franz decided to go to the military hospital to visit the wounded. The organizers decided to take a straight route to the hospital to minimize the risk. But in the confusion, no one told the heir's driver of the new route, so they made a wrong turn. When the driver realized the mistake, he tried to back out, but Gavrilo Princip had been waiting for them and quickly killed the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire and his wife, Sophie. Emperor, You've been like this for hours since we told you the tragic news. Please, say something. Horrible. The Almighty doesn't allow himself to be challenged with impunity. A higher power has restored the old order, which I unfortunately was unable to uphold. Jesus Christ, anything but that! Holy what's wrong with you? The assassination of Franz Ferdinand gave the Austro-Hungarian warhawks the pretext they needed to solve the South Slav problem once and for all. Konrad von Hötzendorf, chief of the General Staff, said, "It will be a hopeless struggle, but it must be pursued, because so old a monarchy and so glorious an army cannot go down ingloriously." Count Alexander Hoyos said to Redlich, "We are still capable of resolve. We do not want or ought to be a sick man. Better to be destroyed quickly." They wanted to act quickly before Serbia got stronger and before southern Slavs within Austria-Hungary got any ideas. German ambassador Heinrich von Schersky said, "Austria-Hungary has to show Serbia who is master," and told them Germany would back them. On July 5th, Count Ladislav Strzogeni Marić had lunch with the Kaiser. Seeing war as a way to solve all of their problems, the Kaiser gave Austria-Hungary the famous blank check, a promise of full support against Russia. Germany knew very well that they would fight Russia, France and Britain, and that its ally Romania would likely defect, and that Italy was unreliable. Germany wanted the Austro-Hungarians to move quickly, while there was still sympathy from other nations, hoping that a quick victory against Serbia, before other countries mobilized, could prevent a major war. But Austria-Hungary, being an agrarian nation, had many of its soldiers on harvest leave. French President Poincaré and its Prime Minister were in Russia at the time, and the dual monarchy wanted to wait to strike until they were at sea with bad communications. In the end, it took them so long to act that sympathy vanished. Austria-Hungary wanted to send Serbia an ultimatum and a dossier proving that Serbia was behind the assassination, but they couldn't finish the dossier in time, so Russia believed Serbia, while France and Britain remained skeptical. On July 23rd, Austria-Hungary issued its ultimatum to Serbia. It was designed to be unacceptable, so that Serbia would decline it and war would be justified. The wife of Leopold Berchtold, the Austro-Hungarian foreign minister, who was mostly in charge of drafting the ultimatum, allegedly told a friend, "Poor Leopold could not sleep on the day when he wrote his ultimatum to the Serbs, as he was so worried that they might accept it. Several times during the night, he got up and altered or added some clause to reduce the risk." Serbia was in a bad spot. A large portion of its army was holding the newly acquired territories, but it knew it couldn't agree, so it asked Russia for help. Britain and France did not commit to fight yet. On July 25th, Serbia sent its response rejecting the demands, and 3 days later, on July 28th, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and the First World War had begun. Thank you to PiaVPN for sponsoring this video. Remember to use my link in the description for 83% off. Thank you for supporting my channel.